Nah, I
Really
love
good.
that Gilly,
Yeah, he is hooping.
Gilly James nickname.
Gilly James. I know, he's fun to watch. Whenever he's out there, it's just like sense of stability. And I don't know, it's good to see him. I mean, we've seen that like every practice. We know he's a shooter and he can put the ball on the floor and do all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see him being able to do that in the game and see that confidence kind of come out of him.
Yeah, and along those lines, in terms of him stability, I mean, defensively, you can kind of see, the defense and the rebounds he does. The offensive side is probably a little more subtle to the naked eye. Can you expand a little more on just when he's out there, how he makes things flow a little better?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a game where he's not going to go out there and play at like 110%. So I mean, he's going to dive on all the loose balls. He's not him, but yeah, he's going to dive on all the loose balls. He's going to go get all the rebounds. We know that. And then offensively, yeah. When he's able to shoot it, and we got 5 dudes out there that can shoot it, there's no doubt in my mind when he shoots it, it's going in. So just to see a couple fall for him, a career day for him, it was awesome to see, and I think we can expect a little bit more of that to come.
If you had more on Carter, then you could keep asking.
No, I didn't have more on Carter. I didn't want to, mess up the flow of. I had something I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to interrupt what you.
I appreciate it. We go back and forth.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like you finish your high school career being like dominant player, like you're probably the best player on the team. And like last year, more of a bench role. Now you're, easing your way back in the starting spot, but you're not, like same position that you were in high school. What's kind of the key of maintaining the same mindset no matter what role you play, or like what's the key of like staying productive no matter how much attention you get?
I think really for me, it's just trusting my abilities and trusting, the confidence that I've kind of worked up throughout my high school and AAU days. Knowing I can put the ball on the floor and be a point guard, and I have that in me. Just day by day in practice and games, just working a little bit more on that. Just having that ability to be a guard. That's kind of what the coaches are telling me. Like, just get it out of your mind that you're a big man and start playing more like a guard. So in Northwestern, I'm, trying to put the ball on the deck a little more and doing that kind of things when people are pressuring me. It's really a point of emphasis. But no, day in and day out, just trying new things and, pushing myself in practice to be the best that I can. And in the games, just kind of have it come out naturally. Every day, just keep working.
So this video of your dad must have been Tim Haskins show. You probably seen.
Yeah.
Seeing that. I'm just wondering what's kind of been his, the impact he's kind of had on your game. If you had to kind of sum it up.
I mean, it's too much to sum up, honestly. He's had the biggest impact on me before every game. He's been through this. He's been through the Big Ten season. He's done it for 4 years in '97, where in the '90s they can beat each other up a little more and they don't call all the fouls. So I've heard many stories of his practices and how, people can get a little physical here and there. But no, I mean, every day, like, we're calling each other, and he's watching the games back, watching the film, and kind of telling me, where he thinks I can be a little bit better. But, like, then again, just trust the coaches and know that they know what's best for me. But he kind of just instilled at a young age that physicality and the rebounding and just a lot of my IQ I have of the game. It's just from sitting down watching some college basketball games with my dad, and he's pausing the TV and kind of showing me stuff. So all the credit in the world goes to him and my mom just for instilling everything in me, and a lot of the IQ I have is from them.
I had a question about your dad, because you just talked about how he was like back in the day. He was kind of like down in the paint, like a rugged center. Now that he watched you last year, like you were center, now you're moving towards that kind of like forward perimeter role. Like what does he feel about that? Like honestly, like does he ever like deep down? Is he like? Do you think he's like, oh, I wish he was,
Yeah, maybe, but
against other guys.
He knows it's a new era in basketball, and he knows what it takes to get to the next level. And it's, nowadays there's not a ton of like just big body back down 5-men. I mean, they're out there, and there's for sure skilled ones, but in today's age, you got to be able to step out and shoot the 3 and put the ball on the deck. So, I mean, he loves to see that, and he loves that I'm working on it. And at a young age, like, we would go to Lifetime Fitness, and he'd be the one like rolling the ball out and like having me work on different moves and putting the ball on the deck like one dribble pull-ups. So, maybe deep down he's kind of misses like a little physicality seeing me in there. But I mean, I'm still in there, and I'm still working on what he's telling me. But it's a new era, and it's not the '90s anymore, and he knows that, and he's trying to teach me everything that he knows from there with the physicality and everything, and trust that the coaches, which they do know what they're talking about, help me with my game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the clips they showed of him in that video, actually, he's spotting up and he's shooting jumpers on the baseline. And they kind of talked about him having a jumper back.
Yeah, he could hit a little 15-foot short corner little shot, but about that's about it. He was 1 for 1 in his college career actually, and it was like a half-court buzzer beater at halftime at Madison Square Garden. So he'll always say that he's 100% from 3 in his college career. But he could step out a little bit, but that wasn't his game. He was more of in the post, get some boards, putbacks, that kind of stuff.
Okay. I mean, and in terms of your game evolving, obviously you got the perimeter stuff you're working on, and I assume there's going to be also a component where your post moves evolve as well. I'm just obviously you got your coaches here that work on you first and foremost. How much do you guys talk about like, okay, hey, this summer maybe it's something we can focus on when you get home or when you get in your workouts?
Yeah, for sure that we have worked on that, and post, like when me and my dad do go like shoot a little bit, like he's gonna bring me the post, be like, all right, like let's work on the moves. Like at a young age, he gave me a couple moves that we always just drill into the ground. So we're always trying to add to that collection, but no, he'll set me up with good trainers too that know what they're talking about when it comes to post-ups and getting out and just kind of my game. So at a younger age, he was more hands-on, but now, as the game's kind of moving forward, it's kind of sending me to the people that he knows and trusts, and that'll make me a better player for sure.
Curious, like when it comes to the future moving forward and like how you think about your position and like what you want to get better at, you talk about how you have to like kind of modernize and get better at dribbling and passing, but at the same time, like in the future, like this is Steve's last year of eligibility. Like next year, there's a strong chance that you're gonna have to play the 5. Like, do you think next year, if you do have to play the 5, like, is your mind gonna keep going towards like being versatile and being able to like dribble, or are you gonna be like, oh, I have to work on being a 5? Like,
I'm just gonna keep sharpening both of those skills, and wherever the coaches put me, I'll be ready to compete there at the highest level. But no, this offseason, I mean, right now we're still focused on finishing off this regular season and finishing off our roles and doing all that. But when the offseason does come, it'll be a big point of emphasis for me to still be able to stretch it out. And yeah, I still want to get way better at putting the ball on the floor and having that confidence that I can just drive by people. At the same time, just improving my game inside. So no, when I go home and all that, I'm going to have both skills ready and upgraded so that when I come back, wherever they do put me, I'll be ready to go.
I'm pretty sure unless there's 2 7-foot, close to 300-pound guys, I'm pretty sure I saw your dad on the airplane going back from Maryland. Are your parents? Have they made every game, or what's?
They have. Ever since I was the first game of freshman year, they've came to every game. So they make it a point of emphasis. My sister's over in Japan serving the Navy, so they got an empty nest. So they're trying to travel to every game that they can. They've heard advice from other people that you can't miss a game. The time goes by quick. And even for me, like I'm already a sophomore, I'm going into my junior year almost. Like it's flying by. So it's good to have them at every road game, see them before the games and stuff like that. But yeah, you probably did see them on a plane.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because there was similar facial expression.
Yeah,
he had a Badger thing. I was like,
yeah, it was for sure. Yeah, for sure was some. Yeah, they traveled every game. Yeah.
A couple other things I was wondering. You kind of touched on. I mean, you only know your experience, but can you speak to the value of having someone who kind of knows what they're doing, kind of help you develop as a player? Because not everyone has that. Someone who can, look and say, hey, I don't like what he's doing. I'm going to send you to this guy instead. Can you touch and expand on the value you think that's kind of helped for you?
As in my dad?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, I touched on it a little bit, but really like the IQ part and, just kind of the finishing stuff around the rim where like we'd be watching TV. I said this like as a kid, he'd pause it and get up and go like point at the TV and kind of point it out like where someone is and what you should do in this position. Really all of that is just a big testament to my dad and how I get it done on the court. So that's the biggest thing, but like then we'll do it and we got a half-court sport court in my backyard. So then we'll go outside and we'll start drilling it and we'll do some of that stuff. So that's where I give him all the credit in the world, and I love him so much for that, just kind of taking what he knows from basketball and giving it to me at a young age and instilling that in me. So when I go play 3-on-3 at like some high school or whatever, like I got that in the back pocket and just trying to get better every day because of him.
Switching gears a little bit, I'm curious about, now we're you guys are about halfway through the Big Ten regular season stretch. Now that you've played more, I guess part of the starting rotation, is the reputation true about the Big Ten being more physical and being more like physically demanding?
For sure, yeah. I think, in my opinion, the Big Ten is probably the most physical conference. And to me, I love it. Like, I love just being physical, like banging each other, doing all that kind of stuff. I think I kind of got that from my dad. But yeah, I love Big Ten and everything about it. And I know day in and day out, it's going to be a grind. Every team we play, it's going to be physical. It's going to be a defensive battle. And that's kind of what I love. I mean, I love just throwing my body out there and getting after it. So it's a big reason why I'm here at Wisconsin.
You guys have had a few problems against like some like the real big guys that you played. Like Mario and UCLA comes to mind. Like some of Michigan's big guys. How? If you had to like sum up like the issue that you've had against like those bigger players, like how would you describe the issue?
Yeah, honestly, me and Steve would say the same thing. We weren't good enough in the games where that did happen. We either weren't locked in or like we didn't read the scout right or what. I don't know. We just weren't physical enough and we weren't good enough. And moving forward, it starts in practice here where we need to be physical and we need to be better. And we know that. And going forward, we need to make it a point of emphasis to be way more physical, because in the games like you mentioned, we weren't ready for that. We weren't physical at all, and they gave it to us. So we just got to be better, and we know that.
Thank you, Nolan.